Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be unboxing and reviewing the Nerf 2.0 Stormcharge. This is the Wild Edition. So we got the blaster here. This is a Walmart exclusive. It comes with 20 darts. This is a Flywheel blaster, so it does require batteries to operate. It does say here it requires 4 AA batteries. We've got a couple different attachment points or accessories and things like that. So let's go ahead, unbox it, and take a look and see what it looks like here. If you flip over the other side of the box, you get a nice big picture of what you're looking at. A couple different variations. It says it's 4-in-1, so you've got a stock. You've got the barrel attachment, so that's one. You can just have it in like pistol form without the 2, or you can have it with just the stock, or you could have it with just the barrel attachment. So yeah, pretty neat. Let's go ahead and break this thing open here. Here's what it comes with. You've got 20 of the Elite darts pre-packaged. They've got a looks like a dark blue tip and kind of like this aqua, so like this kind of color scheme. That's really cool. Let's just keep those aside for now. You've got a 10-round magazine, which is really nice. It's kind of a different orange. This is more like a red, which is interesting. So let's kind of review this thing from front to back. So up front you have a detachable in-strike barrel lug. This doesn't impart any type of spin or anything like that on it. It can be removed and added back on with a quarter turn, which is nice. You've got a full kind of Picatinny rail, Nerf in-strike rail at the top. On the left side, you have your jam door. This will allow you to kind of get in and clear out any jams. If it's like any other Elite blaster, this will not operate with the jam door open. We'll confirm that here in a moment. You got your battery tray right here with a single screw to pull the door off. You put your 4 AA batteries in there. You've got your mag release button, which is nice. It's a paddle instead of an actual button, and that's nice because they're clearly either they're listening or this is just a design choice that someone just made and happened to get it right. In the past year or so, the mag release have been inside the trigger well, and it's been horrible because it basically cramps your finger. And clearly, I understand that these are toys and they're made for small children, but there is a sub audience there of adult kids that like to play with them as well. But it's nice to see that they're using a paddle. It's a much more effective, much more you know, kind of aesthetically pleasing way to release the mag, no matter what age you are. You've got a rev trigger right here, which is a little squishy. That feels like it's a plastic pushback, which is unfortunate. The grip is, well, actually, you know what? I was going to say the grip is a little small, but it's not too bad. But it feels really smooth in the hand. So you got this nice kind of foregrip where you can put your hand here or on the magazine. Actually, this feels more comfortable right there. Trigger is very snappy. Sounds like there's a spring return in the actual trigger. That's nice to see. You've got a in-strike rail on the side here, which is not present on this side, so you can put like either a light or your camera or whatever you want on that side there. We have a small stock, which doesn't feel too bad. I mean, it's kind of short. Like, don't get me wrong, it's kind of short, but for like a short, a short profile, small profile, CQB blaster, HVZ, this is, it's kind of nice. It doesn't have to be very sturdy as far as like what a spring blaster would require, because you're putting a lot of weight on it. But even putting it bends a little bit, but it's not too hateful to where, like, I don't think I'd be doing this while I'm playing, since it's just a flywheeler. Yeah, that's nice. I like it. To pull the stock off, there's 2 tabs on each side. You got to pull both of them down. You pull straight out. It reveals a in-strike barrel lug, so you'll be able to attach different stocks to this. Although I do like the color scheme on this. It's really sharp. It's quiet. Takes a little to get sped up. Let's see. It will let you fire with the door, the battery, the jam door open. So that's interesting. It'll let you fire without a magazine in there and the jam door open. That's interesting. So a lot of those locks have been removed. Interesting. All right, let's load it up. We're gonna put 5 waffle darts in. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we'll put 5 of our Nerf Elite 2.0 darts in, which you should probably not use because they are in fact garbage. Oh, is this a... No, I'm sorry. This is a 12-round magazine. No, it says 10. Oh, but you can definitely fit 12 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no. I lied. You might be able, you can definitely fit 11. So there's 11. So yeah, 11's not bad, but it's a 10-round mag. I'm sorry. Oof. All right, let's go ahead and load it up. See how she moves. So let it fully go. Not too bad. It's kind of snappy. It's a little slow to speed up, but it's quiet. If you hear. And maybe that's just I'm used to like more powerful flywheels or whatever recently after using those recently, but it seems kind of quieter. Yeah, not too shabby. So yeah, let's go ahead and put it over the chronograph, take it out in the range, shoot some shots at 30 feet, and come back with our final thoughts. Let's go get it. First up, we have the Nerf 2.0 Elite darts. Alright, next up we have the Adventure Force waffle darts, 20 feet. Alright guys, so we are back out from the range, and we've got the Stormcharge with us. You know, it's funny after shooting this blaster, you kind of have to curb your expectations after shooting like things like the Nexus Pro and the Mark III and things like that from Dart Zone, and you really got to think about like kind of the target audience for a blaster like this, and understand that it's not in its current form set for everybody, right? So like one of the things that, you know, as you know, modders and hobbyists go, you know, does this blaster allow for some modification, and what, you know, what types of things can you do with it, and is this a good starting off point? So at any rate, let's talk about the numbers first, and then we'll kind of go over like kind of final thoughts and things like that about the Stormcharge. So looking at the FPS results, just stock blaster, nothing done to it, brand new batteries, brand new darts across the board. We've got our Elite 2.0 coming in at a high of 70.5, a low of 52.7, which averages out to 61 on the dot. Standard deviation of those 20 darts was 3.8, which is really good. That's one thing that's kind of interesting to see between, you know, Nerf and other blasters that, you know, come across, you know, the channel and the things that I've reviewed, is some of the Nerf blasters have these are consistent. I mean, they're not like, you know, they aren't like really high top performers, like professional, like hobby grade level performers, but they're at least consistent at what they do. So the 3.8 is a phenomenal, you know, deviation as far as, you know, this is what you're shooting and how far away is that actual, you know, the other, you know, dart A to dart B to dart C to dart, you know, D all the way through. And it's kind of refreshing to see that type of quality put into it. If we look at the Adventure Force waffles, though, yeah, it's clear that they're the, you know, the better dart, the better design dart because it's a better performing dart. It's a cheaper dart for whatever reason. But they came in at a 74.1 on the high, 56.7 on the low, and the average of 65.4, and a standard deviation of not too much higher than the Elite 2.0 darts at 4.7, so not even a full point above. So that's still that margin of error. I want to do a little bit of comparison. I know I don't normally do this in my review videos, but I think I'm going to start kind of comparing things a little bit, at least to things that are currently out on the shelf and in a similar price range. And when I say similar, I'd say like $10 up, $10 down type of thing. So like a $20 span. In this case, I'm comparing it the Nerf Stormcharge to the Motoblitz. And you know, people might be like, oh my god, the Motoblitz is like $55. Like, well, in some stores it is. It's you know, it can be anywhere from $55, and I see it all the time on sale at Walmart, all the time on sale at Target. You can get them in many different stores on Amazon. You can get them right now for $33. They're on the shelf at Walmart for $33. And so I wanted to compare the testing results that I got from that blaster to this blaster and kind of give you kind of a idea of what you're getting into when you make your purchase, so you can make an educated decision. So looking at the charts here, when you compare the two blasters, we already talked about the Stormcharge, and the Motoblitz, you know, finished just higher than it, kind of where I would like to see this one at, you know, out of its stock performance. So stock performance for the Motoblitz, the high was basically with the Venture Force waffles again, 77.7 on the high, so beating out this one by just a little bit, but 60.5 on the low and a 69.2, so just about at that 70 point range, with a standard deviation of 4.1. So I mean, it's still a remarkable blaster, but the other thing that you need to look at is you're getting a whole second blaster with that air pump shotgun kind of 6 dart spread underneath the bottom barrel, underneath the top barrel bullpup, and that's kind of where I see this they fill a similar role, and this is a very much a close quarters combat with how small it is, how narrow it is, and you can even make it more narrow by taking off the muzzle and just, you know, kind of going like this, more SMG style. So they fill a very similar role, especially since they fire about the same as far as performance is concerned, and as far as accuracy is concerned, they're about the same. So for that $4 more, you're getting kind of like a shotgun under, you know, bottom mount master key, and I think that $4 is actually worth it. Granted, there's no, you know, attachment points or anything like that on the Motoblitz, so you kind of have to pick and choose your battles, right? So you know, are you more about the attachment points and customizing the blaster to fit your play style, or not your play style, your, you know, aesthetic and what you like it to look like, or are you looking for more like functionality and you're looking for, okay, well, if I'm out of my, you know, 12 dart magazine, I still have my shotgun blast, you know, to back me up while I reload. So it's kind of it's kind of like a catch-22. Which way do you want to go? And me personally, I more fall under the Motoblitz because it's a moddable blaster. It comes apart super easy. There's no clips, no solvent welding, nothing like that. With this blaster, the only thing you really have to worry about is the handle. So that's a lot like the Nerf Junior line. These two like blue pieces, like aqua pieces, they have clips on the inside that clip to the blue handle, and those can be a pain in the butt to get rid of, and if you snap them, then you're kind of SOL when it comes to putting it back together. That's one thing that I really enjoy about the Motoblitz is its moddability. Now, I haven't opened this one up personally, but I have seen videos and reviews on people opening them up, and you know, there seems to be a decent amount of space in this actual cage, or for a cage and flywheels. The battery bank really doesn't give you a lot of space, but that's always expandable with 3D printing. And then you can also, you know, move into this portion of the blaster itself, so you can go a little bit deeper. But nevertheless, the easier of the two options is definitely building out a bigger door coming out, you know, this way. So stock performance, they're about equal, but the Motoblitz does offer that extra shotgun blast, which I think is worth absolutely worth the $4, in my opinion. Going back to the performance of this blaster here, the Storm, like he wanted to call it Storm Chaser, the Stormcharge. I started out at 30 feet, and I thought maybe I'd be able to get it there, but both the waffles and the Nerf 2.0, Elite 2.0 darts didn't make it, so I just kind of scrapped that all together. We bumped all the way up to the 20 feet mark, and I was a little surprised. I was surprised at how these flywheels really aren't meant for anything outside of 20 feet. Like, you have to probably go about 10 feet or closer to engage with the Nerf ammo. It just hit 10% at that 20-foot mark, and it was dropping, basically clustered probably about a 3, maybe 4-foot radius as far as precision goes, down and to the left. So I mean, just a simple, like, kind of like arc a little bit, you know, you'll kind of loft them in there. You don't have to do anything real crazy, but, you know, 20 feet, you're probably looking at something, you know, about a 10 to 15 degree incline. I don't think that's a viable option at 30 feet. I think 30 feet, you're going to be something like this, and now you're just kind of lofting them in and just kind of hoping that you're going to actually get there. Whereas with the waffle darts, I was pleasantly surprised because the precision, which, you know, the grouping was much tighter, probably about 1.5 feet, maybe a foot worth of, you know, from end to end. While it only did hit 40% of the shots, you know, you're looking at maybe 12 inches lower off that target. So I mean, even less than the Nerf brand, you're kind of going to be more like here, as opposed to flat, maybe 5-7 degrees up, and you're hitting that target at 20 feet every time. So it's nice to see that those clusters were nice and tight, and pretty much right on top of each other each time. Whereas with the Nerf rounds, they just kind of, you know, they hit that 5 feet mark and they just started kind of bend. So that kind of moves us over to like kind of like the final performance and what I think about the blaster itself. The optimal range for the waffle darts is 15 feet for sure. That's going to get you over that 90% mark. With the average of the blaster in stock form being 65.4, it's still kind of below that 70-point range that people like to kind of see out of Nerf. So, you know, modding this blaster is definitely something that you're going to want to look at doing to get that extra performance out of it. The high FPS was 74.1. So again, that's, you know, above where we want to be, but the average is really kind of what you want to look at, and is everything above that 70% or 70 feet per second, and if it is, how much higher can we push it? Key features that I enjoyed about the blaster. The first one is the paddle. I am a fan of paddle releases when it comes to my magazine blasters. It's just so much more comfortable, so much more tactile when it comes to doing mag changes and things like that. It's not inside the trigger well, which is very frustrating and very annoying. And, you know, for some people, this is going to be close enough where you can use your your middle finger on your trigger hand, or you can use your thumb on your offhand. Either one's going to work just fine. I really enjoy that. Second feature is this top rail. This is, you know, as far as blasters that come with a scope or a sight or whatever you want to call it, not having that removable is just a shame. Like, every blaster that Nerf comes out with should have a top rail and a mountable scope or sight or whatever you want to call it. That's just my opinion. It's absolutely a shame that they don't do that. So this is my second favorite feature. While I'm not a fan of like the stock attachment points and the muzzle attachment points, I will say that the type of styling that they did for this blaster, it does make this thing look really nice. I mean, it's a handsome blaster once you get everything attached to it. I don't think I would run it without these. I think it looks really sweet. Cosmetically, you know, changing out this for something a little bit more wider, because the inner barrel is pretty tight. So I imagine that this could impact performance, especially since your dart's traveling from here through the flywheels, and it still has to go a whole, like, what, 6 to 8 inches. and you're looking at a pretty narrow narrow muzzle, and I wish they would have just burrowed that out just a little bit more and given you a little bit more room for that dart to fly out full speed. And that might be where your 5 feet per second is falling off, is right there, through that muzzle. But all in all, it's a handsome blaster. I really enjoy the color scheme, and the attachments really kind of tie it in together as a single package. So I appreciate that. Some things that I would change. Like I said, I would love to see this thing hitting at least 70 feet per second out of the box. Unfortunately, it's just not the case. Even with the waffle darts, it's just not going to happen. So you're definitely going to have to upgrade it to get a couple new motors. 2S or 3S is going to be, kind of where you're going to want to go. I would probably start off with a 2S because, especially with how compact this is and how small of a tray you've got here, your 3S batteries are just going to blow. You're just going to burn through those super quick. But yeah, getting this up to 90 feet per second, 120 feet per second is probably where you're going to where you want to be, especially with it being a close quarters combat weapon. You don't want to be shooting too much hotter than that because your distance of engagement is 10, 15 feet or less. You want to make sure the darts are getting there quick enough, but you're not injuring the person on the receiving end. So, and that kind of leads me into the loadout for this blaster. So I originally was like, man, with this being a close quarters combat weapon, I really don't think I need much else. I just need to make sure I've got enough magazines on me, and so much and so forth. But it's always good to carry a secondary blaster just in case you have some type of malfunction with your main one. Not that I did not experience having any type of malfunctions with this one. It performed perfectly as it was marketed on the box. But I came down to the Kronos, and I think that is a wonderful close quarters pistol. If you run out of ammo and you need a quick draw, having that primed and ready to go, it's accurate, it's quick, it holds 5 rounds, and with some modifications you can make it even easier to reload. Spring return's another thing that makes that blaster even better, but just a stock Kronos will complement this blaster nice. It's a different ammo type, so you don't have to worry about your main blaster stealing ammo from your sidearm, or your sidearm stealing ammo from your main blaster. But yeah, I would say pairing this with a Kronos as your sidearm is a great way to go. So anyway, guys, that is the review for the Stormcharge. Let me know in the comments down below if you really enjoy this blaster. It seems to be getting a lot of hype, and yeah, I can't put a recommendation on this one particularly over top of the Motoblitz. I would just say, spend the extra $4. Heck, I'd even go as far as spending an extra $10 for the Motoblitz. Getting that undercarriage, that Master Key 6-shot shotgun blast is well worth it in my opinion. But if you're looking for something that's super tight and compact, I mean, this right here is a lot smaller than the Motoblitz at this point, and you could even go down even further and more of like a pistol type of thing. So it depends on what you're looking for, but in my use case scenario, the Motoblitz is gonna take it over this one every day of the week. So take that for what it's worth. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we will see you in the next video.